On September 6, 2024, in St. Louis, Missouri, the home of 30-year-old Delicia Evans is set on fire, and she goes missing on the same day. Police identify her ex-boyfriend Ryan Phillips as the suspect, believing he may be holding Delicia hostage in his vehicle. Officers initiate a traffic stop, unaware that what's about to unfold will leave them visibly shaken. That question remains unanswered at this moment. Officers still don't know if the missing woman is inside the vehicle. Ryan Phillips was pronounced dead at the scene, bringing the incident to an end. Police later confirmed that Phillips had already killed Delicia Evans at some point before the pursuit and the shootout. Her body was discovered inside the vehicle. Nearby residential properties were struck by gunfire during the exchange, with at least 8 confirmed impacts across 2 separate homes. Outside the vehicle, police recovered a 9mm handgun along with 2 magazines, one containing 8 live rounds, the other 3. Evidence suggests the firearm may be connected to a 2022 burglary in which more than $300,000 and a weapon were stolen. Delicia's 12-year-old daughter later recalled warning signs in her mother's violent relationship, that her mother had recently broken up with Phillips, that she believes he physically abused her, and that the last time she saw her mother alive was the night of September 4th. The following day, Phillips came to their home and took the children to school, while investigators believe he had already killed their mother. 4 months after the incident, on January 13, 2025, Troopers Guide Key and Hendrick, the 2 officers who opened fire, were honored at a Salute to Heroes ceremony and received the Medal of Valor from Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. What can we take away from this? First, the use of lethal force here is one of the clearest cases this format will encounter. Ryan Phillips was not a fleeing suspect. He was an active shooter who exited a crashed vehicle and fired at officers. Under Tennessee versus Garner and Graham versus Connor, the force used was constitutionally and legally justified on every measure. The troopers had no choice. The law gives them no other reasonable option in that moment. Second, domestic violence does not stay contained. It spreads. Phillips did not just kill Delicia. He set her home on fire. He drove with her body in his vehicle. He brought her children to school while police believe she was already dead. 8 rounds hit 2 residential homes during the gunfight. The violence that started with 1 woman and 1 man on September 5th ended with officers, civilians, a neighborhood, and a 12-year-old child permanently changed. Third, warning signs were present and documented. The daughter described a physically abusive relationship, a recent breakup, and behavior that in retrospect signaled what was coming. Domestic violence escalates in a predictable pattern. The period following a breakup is statistically the most dangerous time for victims. The National Domestic Violence Hotline documents this clearly. If someone in your life is leaving a violent partner, that moment requires the most protection, not less. Fourth, post-OIS protocol exists to protect officers in their most vulnerable moment. The supervisor's immediate instruction, chill on statements, wait for DDC, is not obstruction. It is sound legal guidance. An officer who has just been in a gunfight is not in a condition to give a measured, precise account. The Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination applies to law enforcement officers the same as to anyone else. That right should always be exercised through proper channels before any statement is made. And finally, the phone calls at the end of this footage may be the most honest 60 seconds in any body cam video in this series. Holy shit, what just happened? I promise you we're all right. I love you, and I promise you I'm okay. These are not officers. In this moment, they are people who nearly died doing a job that brought them to a highway in the rain, chasing a man they hoped had a living woman in his car. He did not. They could not have known. They acted correctly, and then they called their families. That is the full weight of what this work costs in real time.